The Catholic Church has long fascinated people. Its rich history is well documented, but there's other aspects of the Church that aren't talked about, some being ancient text scriptures in the Vatican's Apostolic Archive. With very little being known about it, this 53-mile or 85-kilometre archive is full of tens of thousands of books, many of which are said to detail ancient events. The Bible is composed of lots of different books. It's thought of as a holy gospel truth by millions across the globe, written by Moses and others around 1000 BC. It tells of Jesus' miracles, from the well-known tale of the Good Samaritan to when he fed the thousands with only 5 loaves and 2 fish. In fact, the Bible is the most printed book in the world, with around 5 billion copies produced. However, the original version actually contained more books than present in modern versions. Naturally, people found this a little bit strange. The 14 scriptures are known, but they are still yet to be printed in the modern day versions, leaving many to wonder, what are the churches hiding? Once people found this out, they started to look deeper into some of these old tales and books. The ones that interest people the most revolves around stories of mysterious entities. The belief in demonic possession is that an entity, demon or spirit is able to control someone's actions against their will. Those who claim to be possessed often maintain that symptoms of possession include memory loss, the inability to control oneself, and voices in one's mind. The demonic entity known as Valak has been featured in various movies, but the entity is actually based on old 17th century documents. Here it reveals that Valak has the ability to control things, mainly serpents, and can make these creatures do whatever it wants. Although it doesn't take on the form of a nun, it's heavily detailed in the book The Lesser Key of Solomon, which has been described by historians as being a book that contains a mix of spells, conjurations, natural secrets, and ancient wisdom. There's many entities that are similar to this that have been featured in various different books, many of which have been lost to history or have been hidden away. Some have suggested that there's many books that are hiding inside the Vatican, and that it's very unlikely that they'll ever see the light of day. The exorcism industry has become popular in Britain, Italy, and Ireland. Religious experts, including both Vatican and Anglican priests, agree that demonic possession seems to be a pressing issue in today's society. Scientific and non-religious experts, however, warn of the dangers of spiritual abuse. An exorcist from Sicily, Father Pallia, states that the Church is aware of the controversy surrounding the belief in exorcisms, but that the exorcism training is essential because a self-taught exorcist certainly makes errors. Meanwhile, Father Collins in Ireland has said that the Irish people seek his guidance and help in almost everyday dealings with what they describe to be demonic influences. It's only in recent years that the demand has risen exponentially. What I'm finding out is people in their own minds believe rightly or wrongly that they're afflicted by an evil spirit. Father Collins shared his mixed views on the matter, however. I think in many cases they wrongly think it, but when they turn to the Church doesn't know what to do with them. Despite his own dedication to the Catholic faith, he disagrees with the concept of so many sudden cases being real. It's mentioned in several biblical episodes of the New Testament that Jesus drove out demons from people infested with evil. Catholic priests believe there are several kinds of possession. Obsession includes sudden irrationality, obsessive thoughts, and taking their own lives. Typically, these manifest into one's dreams, slowly tormenting them. Oppression is when the victim loses consciousness, or is forced by the entity to act against their morals or will, controlling their body or sending the victim's life spiraling into misfortune. Possession as we know it is when Satan or another demon takes full control of a person's body and uses it as a vessel without their consent. This is typically seen in Catholicism to be in part the fault of the victim, as they must have done something which allowed Satan's influence into their lives. Infestation refers to demons inhabiting objects, things, animals, or even houses. This is what occurred in the house which the movie The Conjuring was based off. Subjection, however, is when a person gives in to the possession of their own free will, consenting to having their body to be used as an unholy vessel. Other symptoms of possession are superhuman strength, the ability to speak in tongue of foreign languages, knowledge of obscure information the victim should not know, blasphemy, wrath, and excessive profanity, as well as a painful aversion to holy names, symbols, and relics. Catholic doctrine states that demonic possession can occur as a result of a mental disorder, but the cases of mental sickness shouldn't be mistaken for unholy influence. Officially, Catholic exorcisms may only occur under the strict authority of a bishop, and should adhere to very specific rules. Unfortunately, such rules are hardly followed in reality, as many people turn to non-official exorcists, instead of struggling to attain the Vatican's permission. Artificial intelligence has come a long way in the last few years, but not everyone's a fan of the direction that we're going in. Although some people are becoming more aware of what artificial intelligence is able to accomplish, there's some who are still in the dark about what's going on behind the scenes. It's also doing things that are making people feel a little uneasy. For example, all of those people that you've just seen on the screen aren't real people. They were created within a matter of seconds by a single website. This one website has the ability to create fake visuals, and some have described these creations as being so realistic that it makes them feel uncomfortable. The website is "This person does not exist," and within a matter of seconds you can create someone that doesn't exist. The only thing that the user needs to do is refresh the page, and immediately you will have a new face on your screen. The site was created by Philip Wang, a software engineer at Uber. His network takes data from real images and then uses a neural network, and this in turn creates an entirely new face. He said the following: "Each time you refresh the site, the network will generate a new facial image from scratch. Most people do not understand how good AIs will be at synthesizing images in the future." Some have expressed their concern, though, saying that already this algorithm is incredibly advanced, and said that they worry what it's going to be like in the future. Model agencies are even speaking out about these creations, saying that they're taking money away from real people. For example, there are currently synthetic influencers that have millions of followers, and in turn can generate hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in sponsorships. One Oxford researcher said the following about these creations: "It's an interesting time we're living in as we are creating our replacements. You don't even need living, breathing humans anymore to bring in extra revenue. Our future is being shaped by artificial intelligence, and whether this is for better or worse, it seems like it's not slowing down anytime soon." One Chinese government media outlet currently has a virtual newsreader who doesn't have a mind of his own, and this has led industry researchers to predict that we will be seeing a lot more of this within the next 10 years. One person said the following: "When does this stop though? When do we get to the point where we say this is enough? And if we reach that point, will it be too late? To me, I find it unsettling that we have millions of fake profiles and people out there. These profiles are soulless. I think artificial intelligence is moving faster than us, and there will come a point in the not so distant future where we cannot contain it." Another industry expert said that these profiles are based on real people, and there's been examples of when people have found themselves on other websites, but can see that their photograph has been changed slightly by the algorithm. This brings up another issue: the fact that people's faces are being used without the owner giving them permission. However, they've said that when you accept the T's and C's on these social media sites, there's not much you can do about it. Tyler Lastovich, who leads strategy at Generated Photos, said the following: I think that most models today have some kind of synthetic component, whether they're photoshopped or edited. I think that what we'll see in the next 5 to 10 years is really a cross between the real world and the virtual world, so models probably won't exist just singly, they'll be just real or digital. I think that they'll mold together. Stephen Hawking made an interesting comment just before he passed away, saying that without a world government, technology will destroy us. The potential threat of technology is not one that Hawking ignored. The fantasy that humans may be able to create such powerful devices, or rather entities, is no longer fiction, but rather a not too distant reality, drawing closer and closer each day. In a 2017 interview with The Times, Hawking made comments that a world government of some description would ensure that we're regulating technology. He expressed a belief that the innate aggression that humans biologically have poses a threat of conflict with technology, and that a world government would theoretically be successful in monitoring that, and so preventing threats of nuclear or biological war. On the other hand, Hawking had considered the possible political implications of a world government, in acknowledging the opportunity for corruption and tyranny within this political system, and the possibility that it may create more issues than it solves. The threats and dangers posed to us can come in the form of our own instinctive human aggression, which Hawking credits to Darwin's theory of evolution. Our logic and reason can be overshadowed by innate aggression, initially purposeful in survival, but creates a sense of impulsivity that must be regulated. Developments in technology also facilitate the advancements of artificial intelligence, or AI that may become too independent from us. AI that may develop enough power to kill or harm us of course presents physical danger, though Hawking suggests that the problem is not if they become evil or malicious, but instead if they become too successful. If an AI has goals, it will to the best of its ability achieve them, so issues arise when the goals of artificial intelligence and ours fail to coordinate, or as said by Stephen Hawking himself, a super intelligent AI will be extremely good at accomplishing its goals, and if those goals are not aligned with ours, we're in trouble. This cautious attitude regarding artificial intelligence isn't one that Dr. Hawking is alone in holding. Other notable figures within the field, such as Elon Musk, share similar reservations when it comes to the ability of us versus technology, as they view it as a potential risk. The risk of technology outperforming us is an increasingly present one, and not one we can ignore. And perhaps in a more ideal world, some have said that the proposition of a world government would seem like the obvious choice. But with the cruel and corrupt potential it brings, we have to ask, do we think one individual can cope with so much influence? So what do you make of these discoveries and announcements? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.